and welcome to our high school football championship series. You're seeing the 8 teams that we're going to be using in the CPU versus CPU simulation series for college football 26. All 8 of these teams are team builder teams that I've created featuring local high schools from the South Louisiana area, from the Houma Thibodaux area specifically in South Louisiana. That's down by Terrebonne and Lafourche parishes. Just a reminder as well, all of these teams are available to download and import into your College Football 26 game. You can simply search for my username down there at the bottom, Dreadman94, and it will pull up all of my created teams that I've created for College Football 26 that you can use in your own game. Just make sure you're using the username search box and not the keyword search. All right, so we're going on to week 1. And here's the slate we've got lined up for week 1. We've got 4 games. We've got Morgan City at Terrebonne. We've got H.L. Bourgeois at Thibodaux. We've got Central Lafourche at South Terrebonne. And we've got Ellender at South Lafourche. So we're going to be covering at least 2 of these games tonight. And we're going to kind of see how the time runs out on that. We'll probably do 2 tonight, and then we'll do the other 2 games later in the week, which I'm scheduling tentatively for Thursday right now. So tonight's Tuesday. We'll get the first 2 games done tonight and then move on to the other 2 games, and then we'll move on to week 2 after that. So let's get on to that. And here I've got Morgan City and Terrebonne queued up for you. So we're just about ready to go. I'm just double checking some of my settings here. So take a quick look here. Morgan City will be wearing their default away uniforms, and this is a quick peek at those uniforms, while Terrebonne will be wearing their default home uniforms, and just a quick peek at those uniforms. So we've got the Terrebonne Tigers versus the Morgan City Tigers. Yes, there's a lot of Tigers in this area. Obviously, Terrebonne is a bit of a favorite in this matchup, so we'll see how things shake out in the game. Will Terrebonne dominate, or are they going to be on upset alert? Let's find out. Enough talk. Let's get to it. I'm going to turn this over to the broadcast booth here in just a second, so I'm going to be muting my microphone while the game is on, and then I'll hop back on at the end of the game when it's over. These are night games because this is high school football. We're playing under the Friday night lights, so we're setting each game for 8 p.m. Other than that, we're going to do clear weather until the weather rolls in at a later week. Once again, 10-minute quarters, and we are all set. So we're going to advance to the game now. I do have the music turned off, by the way. That's to prevent copyright strikes, but you should hear the broadcast announcing and the fans at least in the background. So we're going to get to it, and then I will rejoin you when the game is over. Let's see how this one shakes out.
Stadium buzzing, kickoff team on the field, and we are ready to get this thing started. And he hauls it in, and everybody's on the edge of their seats. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. If you look at this game on paper, it really shouldn't be much of a matchup. You have a high-powered offense against, candidly, an overmatched opponent. But, hey, you never know. You got to line up and play the game.
On paper, this is a horrible matchup. But this game's not played on paper, right? Like, this defense, they're going to have to play their best game. They're going to have to play more consistent than they have. They haven't tackled well this season. They're going to have to play their best game against a great opponent. But we've seen upsets happen. They got to get some adrenaline, some emotion, something good to happen early.
I think it has to happen early, David, and then the question is, can they maintain that over the course of the entire game? Listen, it's college football. 18 to 22-year-olds, and maybe this offense just thinks they can come out here and roll their helmet out on the field, and that's going to get it done. We've seen crazy stuff happen, but This receiver always wants the ball. He especially wants it, though, today, considering what he's up against. He told us coming into this game that he should be able to dominate and get a lot of looks. This defense is going to have to find ways creatively to get this guy matched up and covered. They're probably not going to be able to do it with just one guy with that corner out there, David. This receiver...
And he is snowed under. Sacked at the 7.
Sometimes you beat your guy and you get sacked so clean, and sometimes, like on this play, the DBs do a great job covering, make the QB hold the football, and then the rush gets home.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. Pressure coming. Couldn't find a man, just had to throw it away to avoid a negative play. They bring the punter onto the field now. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight.
points on the board.
They were able to get a field goal on the board, and now they'll kick it away. He'll bring it back from inside his spot. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. We'll see what they can do on this drive that starts at the 16-yard line. Rides the back and leaves it. Able to scrounge 3 yards
create some momentum, and you want to capitalize. So you go get on the ball and get ready to run some no-huddle.
Catch in the middle. It's Hawkins. Makes the grab, but not quite enough for the first down, but a good gain on that play.
Nice job by the receiver on the in route there. And how about the speed after he made his break? He was able to actually separate a little bit from the DB, helping out his QB on that one.
And you see this formula work at all levels of football. You pressure the quarterback, his numbers start to drop. He's not as efficient. Nice job by the defense. 3rd and 1. Everyone knows it's coming.
show urgency to get another play off before the clock hits 0. He'll take a shot. And that one's incomplete as they tried to hit him with a big play on the final snap of the third quarter. Fourth quarter is coming up. What a day it's been on the ground for these two guys, and they just seem to get stronger as the game goes along as we take a look at the numbers. As we start the fourth quarter, it'll take a pretty sizable comeback to win this one. So the final period starts with a second down play. The give. Breaks into the open. Nice pickup on the ground there. They'll move the sticks with the first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Rushes on him. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance. So now it's second and long. After the incompletion, back to the passing game. Gets it out quickly. They'll get it down to the 10-yard line on that completion. Looking to throw on first down. Trying to get rid of it. Didn't have much of a choice there, but to get rid of it. Going to work on second down in the red zone. Is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Off the bootleg, looking to fire. He's got the tight end. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Trying play action. Fires into the end zone. And that ball was in harm's way, and he is lucky to get that one back. Down in the fourth quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he dropped it. He just lost his concentration and didn't look it all the way in. They spun that wheel of fortune on fourth down and come up bankrupt. Got his man quickly.
Great play by the cornerback. He was just way too physical at the point of attack. He beat his man trying to block him, and he tackled that receiver on the screen.
Pulls and fires complete. And he was able to run through one tackle, but still only a modest gain. This is the type of play that can give the offense momentum. Third and short from inside the 20. A strike downfield. Wide open on the right. And it looked as if he might take that one all the way to the house. Just ran out of a little steam, and the defense finally got him.
When you're a playmaker like this guy is, your coaches are going to dial up plays intended for you, especially on third down. That's what you saw in that last play. There was no question where the quarterback was going with that football. All week long, they decided on the biggest downs of this game, we're going to target our best player, and we're going to make sure that he gets looks. It doesn't matter what the coverage is, and you saw it right there on that play.
They had this offense backed up. Now they have to be staggering. Can they deliver another punch on first and 10 from inside the 40? Defense there to make the stop after a pickup of 2 to the 30. Right back to the well. They drag him down behind the line of scrimmage, and boy, that hasn't happened very often. He has had a tremendous night. They send the tight end in motion. The give to the back. Brought down at the 33-yard line as this defense gets a third down stop. And here comes the field goal unit for the second time tonight. They got it. It's blocked. And they got it.
Yeah, and how about this defense? They've been struggling all day long. You're in a huge deficit, and you finally come up and make a play, block a kick. Maybe this creates some momentum now for your offense, and maybe they can go bail you out and make this a ball game.
Offense working from the pistol. Off the play fake on first down, wants to throw. Just too much heat that time, and they knock him down at the 31.
I love the defensive effort there. They didn't get him right away. They stayed after him. He was scrambling, going backwards. They get the sack on the first play of the drive.
All right, that does it for game one. I think the outcome there was a bit predictable, but still an interesting game. I think it was a fun game to watch. So one thing is here. Let me turn this volume down on. We're going to mute the game volume here. Um, One thing that we're going to have to do here is because I'm using the play now mode, which is the only way I can do this in this game system with my created teams for this uh, season that I have set up. I can't really do like a custom season. I can't do anything like that in the game. We're not going to keep track of stats in the game. So I'm not going to be able to do stats on my own. I guess I could, but I'm probably not going to. But what I figure I can do at least is get on here and at the end of the game, I'll just pull up the player stats and kind of go through them real quick at the end of each game. And if any of you at home want to kind of pause the screen and just write down some of these and keep track of them on your own, feel free to do so. So I'm just going to pull those up real quick and look at all the stats here for each of the respective teams. Do the rushing stats here. Kenyatta Celestine, 131 yards rushing on 15 attempts. He's definitely a game changer. He can take it to the house. You've got to watch out for him. Receiving over here, receiving yards. That's that. So again, feel free to pause. Just skip ahead to defensive. I know we had an interception on there somewhere, so I'm going to scroll down. There it is. There's your interception. Then McCarting, strong safety. Okay, kicking. We had two blocked kicks in this one. So Avery Domingue here is 0 for 2 on field goals. Very interesting. And punting stats, 43. So we'll get back to passing, and I'll jump to Morgan City, and we can take a look at Morgan City stats real quick, and then we'll call it on game one. What's it doing here? Okay, rushing. Go back to passing. There we go. For some reason, it had the punting stats still up. Here's the passing stats. So I can tell you in test simulations, I have had instances where the lower rated team did come out and beat a higher rated team. So that is a possibility. Obviously, it didn't happen in this game. This game ended rather predictably, but that is something that has happened in some of my test simulations. So it is entirely possible. Again, it didn't happen here. Now, while the player and team ratings are not necessarily meant to be reflective of actual their actual real life counterparts, I can tell you that some of the real life um, performances may have influenced how I selected some of those overall team ratings because if you've watch my previous show and I'll go into a little more detail there, but uh, you've got preset uh, teams rosters that you can choose from that have preset ratings on them, and so that's what I used. And while Morgan City is um, one of the lower rated teams. The reason for that is in real life, Morgan City, going back at least 20 years, has not had a winning season in 20 years, possibly longer than that. I'm going back to 2004, which is as far back as I was able to go using the website for reference that I was using. So since 2004, they haven't had a winning season in all that time. I can tell you when I went to Terrebonne, uh, we played Morgan City one year. We beat them 62-6. So it wasn't quite that bad here. 28-3 was the final, but that did play a little bit of a factor in it. I think Terrebonne in this in this system or in this game, how I have it set up for this championship series, I think Terrebonne's certainly one of the early favorites. But that's it for game one. We're going to see how things shake out as the season progresses. Give me a minute. I'm going to go to a pause screen and get things set up in the background for game two, where we're going to see another one of our early favorites for this season to win this high school championship series. So we'll get to that here in just a second. Give me just a minute and we'll be right back.